What if the most dangerous thing in the world is not a weapon, but an idea? What if the truth you seek is hidden inside a place where knowledge itself can kill? And what if curiosity, the very thing that makes us human, becomes the reason for our destruction? There was once a Franciscan friar named William of Baskerville, a man known for his intelligence, his wisdom, and his unusual way at the world. Where others saw miracles, William searched for explanations. Where others saw mysteries, he searched for evidence. Accompanying him was a young novice named Adso of Melk, young, curious, and eager to learn. Together they traveled through the cold mountains of northern Italy. Their destination was a remote Benedictine monastery, a place famous throughout Europe. Not for its wealth, not for its power, but for its library. The library was unlike any other, a vast maze of books and knowledge, a place where scholars dreamed of entering, and where secrets had been hidden for generations. When William and Adso arrived, something felt wrong. The monastery stood high upon a rocky mountain. Cold winds moved through its stone walls. The monks spoke quietly. Their faces seemed troubled, as if fear itself had settled among them. Soon the abbot revealed the reason for their concern. A monk had died. Officially, it was said to be an accident, but many inside the monastery believed otherwise. The circumstances were strange, too strange. Some whispered that dark forces were at work. Others believed the devil himself had entered the monastery. But William was not convinced, because fear often creates answers before facts do. The abbot asked William to investigate, quietly, before an important gathering of church leaders arrived. William accepted, and so the investigation began. At first, the clues seemed impossible to understand. The dead monk had been found beneath the monastery walls, his body broken, his face frozen in terror, almost as though he had seen something dreadful before he died. William examined every detail, every object, every witness, every contradiction. And the more he learned, the stranger the mystery became. Because the dead monk had been connected to something hidden inside the library, something secret, something forbidden. The library itself seemed alive, a labyrinth of corridors, hidden chambers, locked rooms, and books that few people were allowed to see. Even among the monks, knowledge was carefully controlled. Some books could be read, others could only be viewed with permission, and a few were never meant to be touched at all. As the days passed, another monk died, then another, and another. Panic spread throughout the monastery. The monks began speaking of curses, prophecies, and divine punishment. Each death seemed more terrifying than the last. And yet William noticed something others ignored, a pattern, small details linking every victim, clues hidden beneath fear and superstition. The deeper he investigated, the more resistance he encountered. Some monks refused to answer questions. Others seemed afraid of what William might discover. And always, the shadow of the library remained, watching, waiting, guarding its secrets. Meanwhile, Adso found himself struggling with mysteries of his own, questions about faith, questions about temptation, questions about human nature. Because the monastery was not as holy as it appeared. Behind prayers and sacred rituals, human weakness still existed, desire still existed, fear still existed, and secrets existed everywhere. One night, William and Adso secretly entered parts of the library forbidden to ordinary monks. The maze stretched endlessly before them. Ancient books lined the walls. Strange symbols marked hidden passages. Every corridor seemed designed to confuse intruders. And somewhere inside that endless labyrinth, a deadly secret was waiting. A secret connected to every death. A secret powerful enough to make men kill. And before long, William would discover that the murders were only the beginning. The deeper William searched, the darker the mystery became. Every answer seemed to reveal another question. Every clue pointed toward the library. and every path eventually led back to a single, forbidden secret. The monastery had become a prison of fear. The monks no longer trusted one another. Whispers echoed through the stone halls. Doors were locked earlier each night. Eyes followed William wherever he went. Because people fear the truth most when they suspect it is close. Meanwhile, the deaths continued. Another monk was found dead, then another. Each death seemed connected to ancient symbols and mysterious warnings hidden throughout the monastery. To many, it looked like divine judgment, a punishment sent from heaven. But William refused to accept that explanation, because he believed that even the most frightening mystery has a human cause. The challenge was finding it before more people died. Day after day, William and Adzo explored the labyrinth. They studied manuscripts, questioned monks, followed hidden clues, and slowly, the pieces began falling into place. The victims had all shared one thing in common. Each of them had come into contact with a particular book. A book so secret that most of the monastery did not even know it existed. A book hidden in the deepest part of the library, protected by layers of deception, guarded by fear, and perhaps guarded by murder. As William moved closer to the truth, powerful enemies moved against him. Some wanted the mystery solved, others wanted it buried forever. Because knowledge can be dangerous, especially when it threatens those who control it. One night, William and Adzo finally discovered a hidden chamber deep inside the library. It lay beyond countless corridors and secret passages, a place few had ever seen. There they found the source of the mystery, an ancient manuscript, a lost work believed to have disappeared from history. A book that discussed laughter, humor, and the power of questioning authority. To many people, it seemed harmless, but not to everyone. For years, an elderly blind monk named Jorge of Burgos had guarded the secret. Jorge believed that certain knowledge was too dangerous for humanity. He believed that laughter weakened fear, and fear, in his view, was necessary to maintain order. The book threatened everything he believed, so he had taken extraordinary measures to ensure no one could safely read it. Its pages had been coated with poison. Anyone who turned the pages would unknowingly touch the deadly substance, and later, they would die, one by one. The victims had not been cursed. They had not been judged by supernatural forces. They had simply read a forbidden book. At last, the mystery was solved. But the story was far from over, because some people would rather destroy the truth than allow it to be revealed. When Jorge realized William had uncovered everything, he made a final desperate choice. He seized the manuscript and fled deeper into the library. William and Adzo followed. The chase moved through corridors filled with ancient knowledge. Thousands upon thousands of books surrounded them, the collected wisdom of generations. Then disaster struck. A fire began, small at first, then larger, and larger still. Flames spread through the maze. Smoke filled the corridors. The library that had survived for centuries was suddenly being consumed. Books burned, shelves collapsed, ancient knowledge vanished into the fire. William and Adzo fought desperately to save what they could. But the destruction moved faster than they could. The great library became an inferno, a monument to human knowledge collapsing before their eyes. By dawn, much of it was gone, reduced to ashes. The mystery had been solved, but the cost was enormous. Years later, Adzo would remember those events. Not only the murders, not only the fire, but the lessons hidden within them. Because the greatest danger had never been the book itself, nor the library, nor even the murders. It was the belief that knowledge should belong to only a few, the belief that truth becomes safer when it is hidden, and the belief that fear is stronger than understanding. William taught Adzo something that remained with him long after the monastery disappeared: that certainty can be more dangerous than doubt, and that the search for truth often matters more than possessing it. The monastery faded into history. The library became a memory, and many of its secrets were lost forever. But the questions it raised never disappeared, because every generation faces the same choice: whether to fear knowledge or seek it, whether to close the book or turn the page. This is the story of The Name of the Rose, a mysterious tale of murder, secrets, knowledge, and faith, written by Umberto Eco and first published in 1980.